Hi, I'm Julie Lynn Moray and welcome back to my channel. Summertime is here and it's time for shrimp ceviche. One of my favorite meals to make, whether it's an appetizer or it's a light meal. I'm gonna show you the best way to make it because if you don't have access to fresh seafood, you wanna make it healthy and safe. And so we're gonna poach it in a court-bouillon. Let's get cooking, cheers.
For this recipe, you will need cilantro, avocado oil, kosher salt, orange juice, shrimp, grape tomatoes, red onion, cucumber, limes, fresh garlic, avocado, and some red pepper. For the court bouillon, you will need bay leaves, lemon, carrots, kosher salt, thyme, celery or celery seeds, onion, garlic, and peppercorn.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with a court bouillon, which basically in English is a short broth. I'm gonna chop up a little bit of onion. I'm gonna cut it into thin slices because this is going to cook quickly, so I need all of those juices from the onion to marry with the rest of them quickly. So I'm gonna throw this into the water. I'm gonna add 2 bay leaves, about a teaspoon of peppercorn, a lemon that I'm going to squeeze and then just throw in. This recipe is also great to poach your shrimp cocktail in. So when I make shrimp cocktail, this is what I poach them in. It's just better than doing salt and water, or poaching your seafood in salt and water, sorry. I'm gonna do a little bit of garlic. Perfect. I just want it smashed. It doesn't have to be pretty. I'm just throwing it in. Once the garlic clove is open, it's gonna release all of its wonderful flavor. I'm gonna do some carrots. I'm gonna throw some salt in there, which is very important. Now, you can do this recipe with already cooked shrimp, but I like to poach my shrimp in this court bouillon because it gives it an amazing flavor. And you can use it whenever you're poaching fish or shrimp for a shrimp cocktail. I need some thyme. I should have had celery in the refrigerator. I don't have it. So instead, I'm going to use celery seed. What? It's a great substitute. Just gonna do a couple dashes of it. It'll give it that amazing flavor and it will all come out perfect. So we're gonna let this court bouillon simmer for about 30 minutes. That way all of those different flavors marry together well. In the meantime, we're gonna prep all the stuff for the ceviche. Let's go. So while the court bouillon is simmering, we're gonna start on chopping up all the vegetables that go into the ceviche. Let me start with the red onion. I'm gonna use about a half. You want to finely chop this, and if you want to deflame the onion, you can drop it in a bowl of hot water. That's going to deflame it a bit so it's not too strong when you put it into the ceviche. Chop it up. Throw this in. If you're not a big fan of red onion or onion, you don't have to put that much. Woo! Boy, that onion is strong. After we've cut the onion, we're gonna do the garlic. I'm gonna smash it, and then I'm going to press it. Again, if you are not a big fan of garlic, you don't have to add it, but I like it. Next, we're gonna use an English cucumber. The reason why I like English cucumbers is because they're not so seedy. So if you get a regular cucumber, you need to de-seed it because otherwise it's gonna be really, really, I don't know, slimy. I'm gonna cut these into 4. So I'm gonna go half, and then down, and then You want bite-sized pieces for the ceviche. Next, we're going to do the grape tomatoes. I like to cut them in thirds, so now we're going to chop up some cilantro, and then lastly we'll do the avocado. I love cilantro, it's so fresh, but there is a small population out there that when they eat cilantro, they say it tastes just like dish soap, which is not good. If you're not a part of that population, then I would highly suggest to put a ton of cilantro in it because I think it just tastes amazing. It gives it that nice, fresh, I don't know, aromatic feel. All right, next is the chili peppers. I love spicy. So my court-bouillon has been simmering for about 20-25 minutes. I'm gonna start on the marinade. I'm gonna do 2 limes. I'm gonna juice them. I'm gonna throw in a splash of orange juice. You don't have to use orange juice, but I think it kind of takes away from the bitterness of the lime juice. And I'm gonna do a little bit of avocado oil, which I know a lot of people don't do, but I like it. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna throw a little bit of salt on all of my vegetables, like my tomato, cucumber, onions. That way it really brings out the flavor. And some cracked peppercorn. All right, now I'm gonna toss all these together. I normally eyeball this. I don't have exact measurements, but I will put them in the description below for those that need it. Wow, you can smell the habanero and the Thai chili pepper. If you wanna add a little bit more cucumber, please feel free to do so. Now that I've got most things in there, we're gonna save the avocado for last. Now it's time to poach the shrimp in the court-bouillon. Now, like I said, if you have access to fresh seafood, you can drop your raw seafood, shrimp or fish, into some lime juice for about 15 minutes to cook it. My husband doesn't really like the texture of the shrimp when I do it that way, and I don't have access to fresh seafood. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna poach it. I'm gonna turn off the heat, and I'm gonna drop these shrimp into the court-bouillon. Make sure they're submerged, and let them poach for about 2 minutes until they turn opaque or pink. Okay, they've now poached for about 2 minutes, and if you look at the shrimp, they're supposed to look like this. They should look opaque and pink. Now I'm gonna drop them into a bowl of ice cold water so that they don't overcook. You do not want your shrimp to overcook. They cook super fast. So I'm gonna quickly take the time to drop them into some ice cold water. You definitely want to save this liquid. It makes for an amazing shrimp stock. I'm going to peel all of these shrimp and then throw the shells back in here, probably simmer them for another 15-30 minutes, then take everything out and just keep the liquid, and that's gonna be an amazing shrimp stock for later, whether I wanna use it for pasta or soup or shrimp cocktail. Okay, once they've chilled, sometimes you're really lucky if you just pinch the tail off, the rest of it comes off. Look at that. Damn! So once you've peeled all the shrimp and deveined them, like I said, you can skip this whole process and get them pre-cooked. If you have big pieces, feel free to chop them in half. There's nothing wrong with that. You want bite-sized pieces because you want your guests to be able to enjoy every part of the ceviche, meaning the cucumber, the tomato, the onion, the cilantro, etc. All right, so we're gonna throw all the shrimp in here. We're going to cut the avocado. Now, I'm gonna fast forward a bit. You want this to marinate for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Then cut the avocado prior to serving it. But I will tell you that there's been times where I haven't had time to do all that, so I've literally cut the avocado, put it in the ceviche, put it in the fridge, and 30 minutes later or an hour later, I took it out. Somehow the lime juice has kept it perfect, in perfect form, and it's been great. So we're gonna cut. I'm gonna twist it. I'm gonna score it. And then I'm gonna slowly and gently toss this because it's got the avocado in it. And throw in the marinade. Okay, it's been marinating for about 15-20 minutes, which is the perfect amount of time. Can it marinate longer? Absolutely. Don't let it go over a day. All right, now it's time to plate it. I'm using these martini glasses. I think they're really, really fancy and fabulous. I'm gonna pour a little bit in. There's one. This is such a great dish to entertain with because you can make it ahead of time and serve it. It holds up really well, I think. But if you're gonna do fresh seafood, know that after 15-20 minutes of the raw seafood sitting in that lime juice, it can turn tough and really, really chewy. So just be careful about that and take that into consideration. All right, and then to top it off, we're gonna cut some lime slices. Just a thin piece for each glass. Do 2 little slits right here. And then we're gonna put it right here. 1 and 2. Now I love fresh cracked pepper, so I'm gonna top it with some fresh cracked pepper. And voila. Okay, so you've seen me make ceviche the non-traditional way from start to finish. Is it the elongated way? Absolutely. But if you have access to fresh seafood, then you can absolutely cook the raw seafood in lime juice. Today, we did it this way. I will put it in the description below if you want to do it with the lime juice. Bon appetit. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. I'm telling you, this is the best summer dish. If you like this recipe, please don't forget to support me by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification button below. Thank you. Cheers.